here anymore.
Well, it should be a more organized corner for Pratchett. Much more experience.
This is the 10th round. Still 2 to go.
Bro, they didn't do anything to revive Pratchett. Putting ice behind the neck, behind the head, and putting some water on his back. In fact, they could bring some of that swelling down from Pratchett's left eye. And a good tool to use is that piece of metal that Angelo used when I fought Thomas Hearns.
And what is the principle of that?
Well, because it keeps it in ice and it applies pressure and it stops the swelling, where it slows down the process.
And another good combination by Chavez. 3-punch combination.
This fight here for Pratchett is equivalent because of the intense and powerful punches thrown by Chavez. It's equivalent to about 5 or 10 good hard fights.
Yeah, it's one of those fights. There's almost, as a broadcast, almost nothing you could say. Very lopsided fight. Pratchett way over his head.
But you know, Barry, he won't quit.
That's about all you could say.
For the first maybe 6-7 rounds, it looked pretty good. But at this point now, it's one-sided because this is when experience is coming in, and Chavez is proving that.
Chavez, remember, with 45 fights. And the other side of that coin, Pratchett. With only 19 fights. Blood from the nose, blood from the mouth of Pratchett. Swelling above and below the left eye. And a couple of good left hands again from Chavez right onto the face. Another sharp left hand drives Pratchett backward.
When a fight is this one-sided, and the fighter losing really has no chance to win except by a knockout, in my judgment, the fight should be stopped to protect that fighter. It's as bad or worse than a knockdown for him to keep going on like this.
Don't say anything. The fight is about to be over. You have won this fight, but now it's up to you to do it by KO or by decision. Then you have to work on it. But do it slowly because you already won this fight, and it all depends on how you feel. So it's up to you. If you feel strong, knock him out. If you feel a little tired, so.
And there you see Ali, Muhammad Ali in the middle, looking pretty well. Mr. T on the right.
With a couple gold chains.
I think neither one of these 130-pounders could stand up straight with all that gold on them.
That was Ali's daughter who he was with.
I also saw John Thompson, the Georgetown basketball coach, in the audience. A real super heavyweight at 6'10".
This is the 11th round, WBC Super Featherweight Championship, and there's no question about who's going to win it. The champion, Julio César Chávez. It's been an extremely lopsided fight since the middle of the fight. It took Chavez about 4 or 5 rounds, I'd say, to master Dwight Pratchett and figure out where his punches were coming from. And once he did, for Dwight Pratchett, the challenger, it has been all downhill.
From the 8th round up until now, it appeared that the fight could be stopped at any given moment. And what happens, Pratchett comes out and he puts on a little show. And then this is what happens later on. Chavez takes control and dominates the rest of the round.
Take your hands off his neck.
I completely agree with Larry Merchant, though, that there's really nothing to be gained here. There's no reason that this fight should go on this far.
Look at this. Listen to the sound of Biter punches. He punches like a welterweight.
Pratchett may be about to go here.
Get your hands off.
And it's not as much. It's not really the shots to the head. It's the body shots that's been taking his toll.
Three-punch combination again by Chavez. Remember, in his corner, they said if he feels strong enough, go for the knockout. Obviously, Chavez feels strong enough.
Come on, punch. Turn him loose. Watch your elbows.
You have to wonder what's keeping Pratchett up.
He's taken an awful beating in the last 4 rounds. And as I mentioned, he's fighting a heavy-handed fighter.
That straight right hand continues to hurt Pratchett every time he drills it to the body. Straight right hand.
Again, Chavez just continued to pound on Dwight Pratchett as we near the end of the 11th round.
A lot better.
Now you're fighting him.
You're doing it well, very well.
Ellie, you want to get hit? Come up here and get hit in the nuts?
What my? You can see what's happening in the corner. They're complaining of low blows.
Sector's not too high. It's right on his belly button.
Pull the goddamn pants up where they're supposed to be instead of screaming. This is the last round, Dwight.
Ponte abusado, no te vayas a sorprender con un... La pelea la tienes ganada.
You're winning this fight, but it's going to be by decision. There's no way. You were winning.
Stand up, stand up, come on.
Dwight Pratchett is paying a high price to be able to go home and say, I went the full distance.
Chavez looks just as fresh as he did in the first round.
3 minutes of boxing left, and they just can't go too fast.
Chavez wants that knockout, Barry. You see the intensity in his eyes.
And once more, Dwight Pratchett holding with the left hand.
He has a look in his eyes. He wants to finish this man off.
Got the scissor?
Davey Pearl is talking about some tape that's loose on the glove of Dwight Pratchett. Davey Pearl definitely taking control of this fight.
Put another piece right here.
There is a lot of inexperience in the corner of Dwight Pratchett, and it shows.
Pearl is following the traditions of boxing, the rules of boxing, by allowing this fight to go on. Because Pratchett is offering some resistance, is throwing a few feeble punches at this stage of the fight. But by any common sense, he ought to stop the fight.
Okay, let's go.
So Chavez continues his search for the knockout, and Pratchett continues to try to prove that he can go 12 rounds with the champion. And that's about the only story there is in this fight.
Chavez now really going to work now. Both hands.
left hand forces Pratchett back into the ropes. Another combination, and that puts Pratchett bouncing off the ropes in the neutral corner. He's in trouble.
His legs are gone, pal. You can tell it now. Starting to buckle. Unsteady.
And another combination, and down goes Pratchett.
David Pearl stopping it. Well, it ruled a slip.
Called it a slip. Half push,
But
half punch.
he's ready to go now for sure. Now this is when David Pearl is going to keep a close eye on Pratchett. And really, that was a good opportunity to have stopped the fight.
Now there's 1 minute to go.
I like to see good boxing, but I don't like to see this.
Now, there's nothing that you can say in a positive note other than the performance of Chavez about this fight at all.
You certainly have to applaud Pratchett's courage here. He's called too tough, but sometimes people can be too tough for their own good.
Too tough for too long. And again, Dwight Pratchett in trouble in a neutral corner. And it is over. So Pratchett has gone the distance, and Chavez will get the W. Pratchett, a beaten fighter. Here's one that there is absolutely no suspense in the decision. That is Pratchett's corner. And he is going to be a sore puppy tomorrow, Ray.
Well, he took some shots, body shots, that it seemed like a heavyweight was throwing him.
So Dwight Pratchett goes the distance. Let's take a look at some of the highlights from this last round. And here is the closest that Chavez came to a knockout. It was a right hand that drove Pratchett back into the ropes.
Well, throughout this fight, Pratchett had this unorthodox defense. In fact, the right hand there put Pratchett in a little trouble. And as we see here, Chavez not letting up. And that knockdown was ruled a slip.
And I think rightly so by Davy Pearl. As you can see, the two punches pushed him back. Then he got his legs tangled and went down. So it wasn't a knockdown, just a slip. Right now, let's go up to the ring announcer. Chuck Hull has the official decision.
Ladies and gentlemen, here is the decision of the judges. Judge Paul Smith scores 118-110. Senor Donante scores 117-111. And Senor Velasco scores 120-109 for the winner and still WBC Super Featherweight Champion of the World, Julio César Chávez. Calling your attention to a center ring, Mr. Sid Rosen, representing the WBC.